What is the definition of a work-related accident? That's what judges do. This comes up more often than you think, where there are matters of law that need to be decided by the courts before a case can proceed. So this was one of the first cases we had at Lawfty, and I think it highlights where that intersection of sort of the law meets the facts. This particular case involved a young woman that was at a work party. It was an outside barbecue/pool party, and the boss's husband had a zip line set up in the backyard. And the zip line, you climbed up a 40-foot tree, you held onto the zip line, and then you released yourself over the pool, splashed in the pool, everybody got a good laugh. There was no training for this. There was no type of safety equipment, no helmets, no tether, nothing. And this young woman climbed up, grabbed hold of the zip line, and fell 40 feet to the ground. She was airlifted to the hospital. Thank God she was okay. Suffered a number of broken bones, did not need surgery, and was largely okay. So the question in this case became, was this workman's compensation, or was this a third-party liability claim against the owners of the home, which happened to be this person's employer? So workman's compensation is a no-fault system that was set up to basically protect employers and employees. Every state's got a different version of it, but what the system says is that if you're injured at work for any reason at all, you trip over your own 2 feet, you stab yourself with a scissor, workman's comp will cover you. No fault, right? It's an insurance system and you're covered. Now, workman's compensation pays less than a personal injury matter, which is covered by general liability insurance or out of your employer's pocket. But the way the system's set up, if it's a workman's compensation claim, you cannot also sue your employer. Generally speaking, and every state's going to interpret this different, is like what was within and outside your scope of employment. Now, I firmly believe and still do that this was not a work accident. You know, I think that a zip line and the conduct associated with it falls outside the scope of employment, but there was an issue there. This case ultimately ended up getting settled out of court. This particular person got a very nice settlement, and I think both sides were ultimately very pleased with the resolution. So here's my advice. If you get hurt at a work party, you should absolutely consult with a personal injury lawyer. Some personal injury lawyers handle workman's compensation, others don't, but they work closely with workman's compensation attorneys regardless, and you'll get an answer as to whether or not you should bring a personal injury claim, a workman's compensation claim, or potentially both.